Hello, everyone. Let's talk about Upptalk before we get started with the video. Upptalk is an online community for live, interactive software training, creating confident individuals capable of using global business tools. Let's learn about CA Siteminder interview question and answers in this video. What are the basic steps that you will take to stop unauthorized access? Indeed, certain matters need to be feasible for this. The absolute first aspect is to defend the sizable data with passwords. The statistics reinforcement need likewise to be ensured via a comparable methodology. It is critical to empower the firewall as it's miles instrumental on this matter. All the data on an agency employee who is no longer getting used needs to be fast suspended. It is likewise critical to restrict the statistics to simplify the folks who paintings in a comparative department or the permitted delegate in an association. What do you know about penetration testing? It is essentially a technique to identify a few weaknesses in a framework. It tends to be done physically or through robotized approaches, and it expects to assess the framework security. Like different methodologies, the superb target is to guarantee the framework stays secured against the assaults. In this methodology, if weakness is tracked down, the equivalent is utilized to discover others after understanding its conduct and cause. What do you mean by the term protocols? Is it possible to change them once defined? Conventions are a gaggle of choices that can be pertinent to a cycle via means of large. Clients want to put up to each one in every one concerning protection and realness and make sure that the undertakings or sports they're eager about do not abuse them. With conventions, it is not clean to assure a community simply as man or woman the executives. Indeed, it's far viable to extrude the conventions each time they want for the identical is felt. Name a few basic methods for effective identity and authenticity management. Utilizing a consumer call and a secret phrase method is one of the requirements and, indeed, the appropriate method to supervise them. What's more, getting the client's very own statistics is moreover beneficial like this. Finger touch sensors are distinctive strategies that are very normal inside the modern-day situation. How will you define an identity? Why is it necessary in an organization? It is a group of records and records applied to understand a purchaser or a gathering. Having a character is past the area of creativeness to assume to assure a secure climate in an association. Furthermore, specific struggles may be made, and machines often overlook to play out their assignments. What exactly do you know about access management and identity management? Access. The board ensures executives' internet access, like approving customers to reap an assignment, confirmation, staying far from extortion, and coping with different comparative undertakings. On the other facet of personality, the executives help clients oversee the personal lifestyle cycle of the folks who work in an association. Name some domains that fall under identity management. There are several domains, and a few are here. Directory management. Access management. Identity management directory. What benefits can access management and identity management drive? Here are some benefits which can help the relationship with keeping up the speed. The first, and believe it or not, the main advantage is cost saving, and affiliation can save a colossal measure of money just by contemplating this philosophy. The following tremendous thing that can be ensured is practical efficiency. Likewise, business advancement for online business is another driving benefit. This development is, for the most part, loved in the current circumstance. What are the tasks in which identity management and authenticity management matters the most? There are positive errands in an affiliation that isn't always exposed to each one of the representatives. They must be stored a mystery. Nonetheless, as soon as in a while, representatives must be eager about them. When they're accepted superb admittance to the statistics, it is critical to cope with something similar. While dealing with a splendid task, statistics may break, there are positive possibilities, and corporations want to undergo significant misfortune. What do you mean by the term authentication? Why is it necessary? It is essentially an interplay that looks straightforward, however, it's miles extraordinarily mind-boggling and genuine. Any customer who wants to illustrate their person and deliver a ton of qualifications earlier than getting an entry is authorized to the statistics or facts. All such certifications are taken into consideration accurately. It is crucial to ensure that no unapproved character will access categorized statistics or any facts that could place a commercial enterprise at risk. What exactly do you know about authorization? Is it different from authentication? It selects whether or not a client is permitted to discover more than one information or information. It is viable for them to solicit the organization's overseers or office's heads to get entrance. It is essentially completed via the client's passageway, simply as its URL. Specific preparations restrict information entry. Both approval and affirmation are numerous methodologies. Their particular aspect is that they collectively provide to improve the safety of a business's data. What do you know about URL manipulation? It is an attack that programmers do not forget for controlling the URL of a site. This is carried out to benefit admittance to the number one data. Notwithstanding, it's miles possible to save you them from gambling out this errand. How will you authenticate a person or a user? The first and, indeed, the most well-known methodology is passwords that they have. These are essentially the mysterious snippet of data that no other person except the approval clients have. The following approach is biometrics, which is turning out to be increasingly more typical in the current situation. Also, access cards can be presented to the clients for permitting them to enter the limited regions, for example, worker rooms. What is remote administration? Can it cause risk to the business data and information? Remote get admission to is a fashionable approach. It is a fundamental approach that permits clients to manipulate a PC without their excellent presence on the site. The tool may be managed via a far-off union that is predicated on the web. Remote get admission to is usually the association is given this kind of passage. There are precise achievable consequences of information and record spillage. If the web server is made to run on default settings, can it cause a security issue? Indeed, there are sure opportunities for that. In reality, web workers on default settings are defenseless against programmers and aggressors. It can even bomb secure access to the board and instantly make issues like information misfortune and spillage. The worker settings should be tweaked depending on programming and application utilized in an association to secure the information. Suppose you want to enter authentication information on a login page that appeared in a pop-up window. Would you proceed or not enter the data? Why or why not? No, I'm not going to fill out the verification information. This is because it might be a virus, a page, or something else that violates the security standards. Any of us should avoid inputting personal or sensitive information on pop-up sites. Name the two methods by which penetrating tests can be considered. There are two types of testing methodologies available: black box testing and white box testing. Another method, known as gray box, may be used to accomplish this. Name some attributes of security testing. Here are some names which attribute of security testing: non-repudiation, authentication, confidentiality, availability, integrity, resilience. If the web servers are down, would you prefer to share the communication or personal information through your email account? Considering everything, if the data is excessively delicate, I won't permit everything to out. Regardless, suppose a similar should be passed on basic explanation. In that case, I will look for the data of the top association or security analyst and will continue coming about to get the endorsements. What do you know about phishing on a network? How can it be harmful for an organization? It's essentially a method that hackers and others use to obtain information about a company. They build fraudulent websites that seem identical to the real ones. They attempt to display them on the user's screen while waiting to enter their login and password. To avoid this problem, make sure that the URL's web address is the same as the organization's name. Phishing may result in account hacking and illegal access to data that no company wants to disclose with anybody who isn't an employee. What if there is always a restriction on one department to access another department's data in an organization? For example, permit a customer named Mr. X to work in the purchasing department and a client named Mr. Y to work in the information technology department. They don't have to waste time with data from the other division. If they demonstrate any such point, it may be because they need to convey it to someone. To avoid such a danger, associations must impose such restrictions. For the most part, it aids them in improving their security. Name any 2 strategies that are useful in making web access management more secure. Installation of anti-spyware software and having the latest security updates can help a lot in this matter. What, according to you, are the significant challenges in the current scenario for web access management systems? Here are some web access management systems. Central questions in understanding the HTTP. Regular change in SSL approaches. Unified remote admittance to machines. System alarming approaches and mechanisms. Refreshing approaches. What is security testing? It is essentially a method to control registration instances there's a blunder with inside the safety components of any data. It accepts a primary element in getting a utility. Security experts can preserve expansive consciousness with the full latest with all the essential hardships that could affect their paintings and immediately distinguish and wipe out wrecks. What exactly do you understand by intrusion detection? It is a unique technique to identify the capacity assaults through programmers and intruders and manage the same. It incorporates the information and discovers the viable manner to prevent cyberpunk assaults. Sometimes checking the device records also can be part of the access. Please like and share if you find this video helpful, and subscribe to our channel to be alerted whenever a new video is uploaded. Thanks for watching.